Well, folks, what we have here is Mr. Boots inspecting the new food that just came in. You can see he gave us. What do you think, Boots? Is it going to be good stuff? Does it meet your approval? Mr. Boots. Boots. It does. Buddy, does that meet your approval too? It's all good? You guys talking about it? They say it's all good. Okay. There you go. Hey folks, Sheldon from the Outlaw Speed Shop. Made a little progress since last time we spoke. Been a couple of days. I think I might have a couple videos that I might have worked on that I haven't uploaded yet, but let's get down to the nitty-gritty. And so, of course, I always got a big mess. And as you can see, we have made some serious progress on the old 44, but I don't know if we made enough progress on the hood situation. I may not have done the hood. I may not have done the hood the way it was supposed to be done, because all I'm doing is tearing up the freaking paint. So, but anyway, here we go. She looks pretty cool as far as where we're going. And oh, look at that! We got the tranny sitting in here. Got us an oil cooler for the tranny. That's kind of cool. So we got a lot of little things going on. We got to still finish detailing our little engine, but got the rear end done, got the shocks on, got the front end in, got all the front suspension in. So we just got a lot of little detailing stuff to do now. But let's go ahead and pull this guy off. And so we can see, got our little rolling chassis here. Real happy with how everything came out so far. But I just wanted to touch on a couple subjects, a couple areas of what's, like I said, I think I may have made a goof on the hood, and if I did, oh well. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry again. Anyway, so if it turns out to be, I mean, I think anyway, I don't like making hinges to begin with. So you can see here was the first attempt that was too wide. So I don't like making hinges to begin with. So we'll just have to wait and see where that all ends up. It might just get that little snip, 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 snip off there. Won't have to even worry about it. So, so we're in the process of just started detailing the engine. Got the headers and got all the cool stuff, and went ahead and put the chassis together. And so, you know, so far everything's fitting good, getting good, and I just kind of, I was doing some, working on some stuff, and then it was like, hey, it's time to start throwing a little primer on this thing, and then it was like, well, let's throw a little paint on it, and pretty soon it was just like, well, it just kind of took off. So the body, I had to do couple. Actually, I had some holes in here because when I glued the fenders, I glued them all from the inside. Well, I didn't notice it till I primed it that I had a little bit, so I had to go back in there and do a little filling and touching up. And I still have to build the front rear bumper, the side, that kind of stuff. So there's still stuff to do. But I just started putting together what I could, and So this morning, I was gonna sand it again and do some more stuff, and then I thought, you know what, it's a race car. It doesn't have to be. So I was gonna use a different can of red, and I had this one, enough just basically to put one coat of paint on everything. And so that's what I used. This was some old lacquer, Tester's lacquer. I believe I did a 48-hour build of a 62 Corvette. And so I had enough in the can to, get out of here, bug, put a little color on this thing, so I did. And then I just put some dull coat on it. That's one reason I like building old stock cars and stuff like this. It's because they don't have to be shiny. You don't have to spend a bunch of time. If I want to spend a bunch of time polishing, hell, I'd rather polish my knob than polish a bunch of model car crap. So, you know, spend your time where it needs to be spent. But so anyway, it's ready for some decals, and I have right here. I think I'm going to use these. But I think I'm going to flip them around and do number 67 instead of 76. So I'm going to put some numbers on there, maybe something on the hood, maybe find some kind of cool little sponsor decal to go on the deck lid, and that's going to be about it. But I'm real happy. I mean, I did it to build a build for the 40 Ford. That's the whole idea of this thing, building a AMT 40 Ford. So that's what I did. And so anyway, I just got a bunch of little detailing stuff. I kind of went overboard on some stuff, but sometimes overboard is just part of building. And you try, and I use these little projects like this, and well, basically every project, but you know, just to try new things, try out different, whatever it is. So one of the things I did, which I've done before, but I kind of took it a little step forward, is like on these shock mounts. I used that hex rod, which I explained to this in a video before. I used some of this hex rod to cut to make like bolt heads on the shocks. I put this little washer on here on the firewall, and so when the steering rod, which is somewhere around here, the steering rod has a little piece of here it is, still clear over here, just a piece I got. So the steering rod, when it goes through that hole, which it may not go after the paint, because it was, anyway, there we go. So when we do this, and then this piece goes, that shaft actually goes through the motor plate down to the steering box. So when that piece goes on there, we're gonna have to grind a little bit of a bevel or an angle on it, and so it'll actually look like a little carrier bearing. So just different things, just trying stuff, you know, just that's the whole idea of modeling, is just trying different stuff, trying different things and whatever. So that's where we're at with this. So the next thing, we'll get some decals on them, get that hood thing straightened out and repaired, and hopefully I didn't throw that can of paint away. If I did, I gotta dig it out of the trash before it gets too far away, so I can have a little bit of paint to touch up over there. And that's it. So that's what's going on. Just kind of coming along, having fun. Did a little engine. Actually, I've got these little tiny wires on here, and I kind of put those on there just because it's hard to get in. It would be hard to get in here to put some other, drill the holes or whatever. So I just kind of put these little ones on here, thinking that maybe just having a little bit on here where I put a bigger hose over the top of this, because they're actually too small for a fuel line. Maybe, I don't know. They may be okay. but I think they're a little small. So I kind of thought that if anything else, I could put another wire or something over the top of this one. So I just went ahead and put those on there because this thing has it has a dry sump system, and it's gonna have a remote oil filter. So it has the outside belt-driven oil pump, and basically the engine. So then you have a spot on the oil pan where it either sucks or returns. I'm not exactly positive. I think that's where it sucks the oil out. And then there's a spot on the block where the oil comes into and then circulates through the block and comes back out. So that basically the engine's in and out. I know on some of the more fangled-angled things, there's scavenger pumps and scavenger lines and some other stuff like that, which I'm not really 100% sure of. But I do know that in this system I'm going to have here, I'm going to have an oil filter, and I'm going to have an oil cooler. And that oil cooler is basically going to be just like this little transmission cooler. And that little line, this thing is being a real pain in the ass about this one little line. I haven't been able to get in there real good to get some. I'm going to have to re-glue it. It's just been but these little beads, I use them just for the hell of it. I mean, they may not be perfect, but it adds a little detail that I think is kind of cool. So we got to do an oil filter, oil cooler. Obviously, the oil cooler is probably going to be up towards the front. The oil filter, I'm thinking that the oil filter, and I might even have the oil cooler over here, but I'm thinking that the oil filter and stuff is going to be back over in this side. Obviously, everything's going to be easier to plumb if everything's over on this one whole side right here. Obviously, the exhaust is going to go there. I think I'm going to have to cut this right here and put a pin in it. Hopefully, I can just cut it, put a pin in it, and put it back just for ease of getting everything together. So I think that's going to be something, look ahead, kind of try to take care of that before it gets out of hand. There's a radiator somewhere. Should be a radiator somewhere around here. That's not it. That's not it. I know we got one. Just don't know where it ended up. Hasn't been painted yet, so it's here. It's just not here. Just like the seats here. Huh. It's somewhere. Something else, kind of weird. Do you guys realize that I've got all these little roach clips from when I used to be a pot smoker. That's why I got so many of them. And that I've been using for painting. Now, I've been using these things for 20 years plus, probably. And they're all covered with paint, all big and bulky, and they don't work worth a shit. So, can you tell me why it took 20 years to realize that any normal person would have taken their little guys like this and at some point went in here and started busting off all this paint to get these things down to the size that they used to be? How did it take 20 years? How's that even possible? That someone could let this go on for that length of time? I don't know. But you got to remember, I was on antidepressants for 25 years, so that could have been part of the problem. Just shit for brains. That's probably, I mean, it wouldn't be the first one that have said that, but so yeah, we've been going through all these as I don't use them a lot. I have my ones on the stick and I'm going through doing those, but yeah, you know, they work a whole lot better when you get all that shit off of them. So there's a tip. There might be somebody else out there that's in the same boat as me of just being a dumbass. You know, it happens. Happens every day. Okay, that's all I got for now. I'm going to go ahead and put these videos together and get them up, and continue plugging away. Get the decals and whatnot on the body. And so that's the main thing. I got to get the body finished up as far as decals. Got to get the engine in, get it plumbed and wired and everything as far as all that goes. So there are some things, that's why it's not in there yet, because there are some things that I need to do before I stick it in the hull, even though we do already have the transmission in there. And finish up some interior. I got the seat is fit, just got to get that stuff painted, but I haven't done anything for like the dashboard, steering. I guess I worked on the steering column, so I guess I got that started. So just a bunch of little BS that I've been doing, and we'll get this thing all finished up, and hopefully somewhere in the cleaning up process, that since I got shit, there's the hood to the Falcon sitting over here. We'll find that radiator, and anyway, a little update. The panels and everything came out pretty good. Basically, I went through and made some little paper templates before I cut out the other ones, and doing this in 4 pieces was a whole lot better. The whole process was a whole lot better as far as putting everything together, instead of trying to fight with one big piece or 2 pieces or whatever. That all worked good, and it's looking good. So take a couple more days to get this thing finished up, and then we can get back to hopefully, I think we're going to get back to the 64 that's sitting here with again, shit scattered all over the place. So that's the idea. And let's see, did I got anything interesting? Oh, I bought a little electric chainsaw from Home Depot. Got it here a couple days ago. Only took 2 days to get here, and delivered on the front porch. So I took my little X-Acto knife out there, went out there, opened up the box, got it out, checked it out. Ryobi, I think. Same battery as my weed eater and my blower. So 14-inch blade, small, just to trim. I've got a bunch of little trimming I need to do around here. And I got a little electric one, but it's such a pain in the ass dragging the cord around and all that stuff. So I got this thing, picked this thing up. So it came, and I put oil in it, and anyway, went out there and I cut down this little tree. It was about this big. Timber, and brrr, right through it, and I was like, damn. And after that, no go. So I jacked around with it for a little bit, and no go. Anyway, sent it. So I contacted whoever and ordered another one, and hell, that one showed up here today. So went out and put it all together, went out and finished up that little job, and it seems to work pretty good. So like I said, I just got a bunch of little pruning, trimming. Been trying to straighten up a few things around the place. So got that going, working on that. And like I say, got plenty of energy now and starting to feel better. And now that I'm actually getting out and doing things and whatever, starting to feel better as far as that goes. Cars broke down, working on that. The long story there. So hopefully get a part in tomorrow for that. So I got to ride my bicycle up to the Napa tomorrow and get that and put it in. Hopefully that'll be good. So just all kinds of crap going on. So thanks everybody for watching, and hit the like button. Questions. I also did want to mention, I finally got a listing back on eBay. So what I have, I only have one item, but I have 6 of them. I only have one thing on eBay right now, and which is the tires and wheels that come in the MPC Rat Trap Vega. Those are the newest ones that got the new tread pattern on them with the white letters and anything. So I finally got those on there, and it still took me 45 minutes, and I had to write several emails because no matter what I wrote on the description, it just didn't like it. So finally, I wrote a couple letters or contacted whoever, and finally I just started adding random ship and just kept adding stuff to the description until they finally took it after whatever. I mean, I put just all kinds of stuff in there, and so haven't sold anything yet. Been up there for a couple days now. Only had a few views, but anyway, there are 6 sets of those up there. I think I'm only asking $8 a set, and 4. I think it's total of 14, $6 shipping, 6 shipping and handling, something like that. So anyway, if you're interested in that, and actually if I actually do make any sales and whatever, and I think I'm going to continue adding a few little items at a time to that, which will be mostly leftover kit parts because I've got so many. So different tire sets, wheel sets, engines, some stuff like that, and might actually start adding some resin parts to that list. If it actually anything starts to move again. So I got a bunch of bodies I want to put on there that are just piling up over here from these kits because I've been doing, using other stuff. Obviously there's a body that goes with this whole thing. So when you look at this was the kit, which was a rat trapper. So obviously there's a set of wheels and tires that aren't here anymore. There's a engine, which is not a very good engine, and a body and everything that aren't being used, which means they go over there to take up more space. So if I can start moving some of that stuff out of the way, clearing up space, and make some more money so we can buy more model car parts. That's kind of how it goes. So again, thanks everybody. Catch you in a couple days. Maybe tomorrow we'll get an update. Once we get this engine in here, and once we find the radiator, I don't think it's really lost. I think it's just misplaced at this point. I mean, it was here a couple days ago, so I mean, it couldn't have. Mr. Boots might have moved it somewhere. Mr. Boots, did you move the radiator anywhere? Yeah, he's not even saying. He's sleeping. It might be sitting up here. Like I say, I don't know. It's it's all confusion. So. Okay, kids, gotta roll. Thank you very much. Where's the button? I think that's it. That might be the button.